What's going on? Coach P from Socal Travel Ball. Haven't checked in a while on the live. I'm checking in on the live. I wanted to talk about my progression as a college coach. Not yet coaching. I'm pretty much a full-time recruiter right now. Just having all sorts of issues in the beginning. Getting started is a big learning curve. It's a big mountain to climb. Learning the ropes, trying to figure out how to get kids to commit to our school. Our school is a small Christian college with enrollment underneath 100 students. We are located in Orange County. I've been recruiting, actually the first month I was recruiting heavily on field level. I was able to get some traction. For those of you who don't know what field level is, those of you playing travel ball that follow me, or those of you that are parents that have kids that will eventually play travel ball and maybe high school baseball. Field level is the application where you could create a free profile for your child. You can upload videos. You can put down all sorts of details. And then obviously you can always go back and update information. You can also invite a coach to give like some sort of player assessment, like a player evaluation that tells you a little bit about the player. Like, for example, you could put up there like, he's a great left-handed pitcher, throws a fastball, highest speed reached is 87 miles per hour. You can say stuff like plays second, shortstop, and has played some left field. Tends to lead off because he's a speedy runner, very heads-up player. Or you can, say some weaknesses if you're the coach, and you can evaluate the player. Like, player needs some development, needs some time to grow, needs to build some strength, needs to grow some muscles or whatever. You can say anything on field level, but you try to get some of your coaches to put some positive things about you that will hopefully get you noticed by a recruiter. And then they'll call you. They'll contact your coach. Coach, can we communicate with that player? It's like a 2 or 3 step process, but then the player, the coach will say, yeah, sure, speak to him. And they'll release the information, and they got a phone number, and there you go. So I was using field level to communicate with players in the beginning, and it's a slow time. It's not like you can send a mass email and you have to go one at a time, communicate with the players, then wait for them to are not even the coach of that school anymore, and and won't check that email for a while. So you have a request pending, and so now you call the player, and it goes straight to voicemail. You leave a voice. Sometimes the messaging has not even been set up, so you can't even leave anything. The next step would be to send them a text message. Yeah, this is Coach P from SCLU, looking to see if you're interested in applying to our university. We're looking for student athletes that are looking to play collegiate baseball, yada, yada, yada. Call me back. You put down your phone number. Hope that you get a phone call back. Some of them text you back because they don't like talking. And then, you give them you read them your script if you have one, or you just memorize one, or whatever you got to say. So the conversation doesn't always go the same. Now, some students will ask you all sorts of questions, which is good. You can tell the ones that are, they've been trained, they're well prepared, or they're just smart kids, and they know how to ask the right questions. Could you believe it that out of all the times that I've been making these phone calls, I've spoken to close to 200 students, believe it or not, in a little over a month. I've spoken to over 200 students. Sometimes it's a quick phone call, and sometimes it's a long conversation. But out of all the conversations that I've always had, only one student out of all of them has asked me, what's my baseball background? And I was like, when he asked me the question, he was a kid from Alaska too. Smart kid, super smart kid. I mean, he asked all the right questions. He was like an adult, this guy. But he's like, what is your baseball background? And I had to stop for a second. I said, you know what? You're the first student who asked me that question. I said, and that's a good question to ask. I said, I'm just thinking right now to myself, why nobody else has asked that question? I mean, you want to know why your coach thinks he's worthy to be your coach, And the fun part was that he was the first one to ask me the question. So I just thought it was interesting. Now, fast forward a whole month. I meet with my director. He gives me access to this website called NCSA. Started making some phone calls through there. Actually, no. On that one is different. That one, it allows you to submit an email to several students. You can go about 100 at a time. And, you put a generic message. You say, such and such from such and such. We're looking for student athletes that are interested in playing collegiate baseball. We saw your profile. Give us a call back. Message us, etc. And then, boom. Now you reach out to 100 students. It's almost, you cast a wide net. And I did that, over and over again. And wow, the amount of traffic that I got from that program was amazing. So much that I think within a span of 3 to 5 days following that, I was able to get up to 15 applicants. Now, that's where I'm at now. I have 15 applicants. Keep in mind, an applicant is only as good as the paper, right? I mean, it doesn't mean anything unless the student ends up enrolling. So an applicant could easily apply to 5 colleges, right? So that doesn't mean they're in the school yet. So technically enrolled for baseball players, I believe I only have 1 enrolled. Other than that, the other one, like I said, they're just applicants. But it's a step in the right direction. We're getting closer to September 1st. By then, we should have our team built. If not, then our baseball program does not take up off the ground. I'm hopeful that it is. I mean, with the 15 applicants, from last week I had 4. This week it shot up to 15. And I'm feeling positive about it. Now I got to convert them into students that are enrolled. I think the biggest mountain to climb for me is school has Christian accreditation. It's accreditation of, I believe it's ACEA, if I'm not mistaken. They have that accreditation, but they don't have the regional or national accreditation. But they're getting close. They're getting close to working on it. They're supposed to have 2 years of profitability, or 3 years of profitability, and this is their 3rd year. And, as long as we get the baseball program up off the ground and the basketball program, and now apparently we're having a soccer program as well. As long as we get that off the ground, there will be profitability, which means they're making money now, right? And that will open it up for candidacy. Now, candidacy is not accreditation, but it's like one step closer to accreditation. So you're practically there, Now you're at a candidate. And that will open it up for all sorts of other things, because now people have trust. People now see the accreditation they see the light at the end of the tunnel. And right now, that's the hard part about it. Some people don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's hard for them to see it. It's harder for them to understand the process that, we try to explain. But, I'm a first-year coach, and I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. And if you're a coach and you have experience and you've been there, done that, and you know what I'm experiencing right now, put some comments down below. Let me know what worked for you. What changed the tide? What are some of the obstacles that I will face? Our school does not have our own baseball facility, so we use city fields, which are really nice. We compete against some pretty good looking schools. Some of the schools that we play against don't have their own fields as well. I mean, that's a disadvantage about playing at a small college. But you know what? You get to play collegiate baseball, and that's what it's all about. So some kids want to play Sunday league, and that's fine. That's what I did. I was in college. I played Sunday league. But some kids want to play college baseball, and that's where this program is going to come in handy. And hopefully, when we get the team going, I'll be able to start sharing the same way that I share videos for Little League and All Stars and travel ball games, etc. I'm going to start sharing games for Socal travel ball for our collegiate team. And that would be interesting because now we're getting to longer games, and I'm hoping that by then I'll have better equipment to film these games. I'll have an external battery that lasts for hours, so I could use my device and not have to be changing back. Right now, what I do is I change batteries I'll need to have at least 3 batteries at a game. I don't want to be doing that when we're playing games here at collegiate level. I want to have, game changer, live streaming, also just recording the games, putting them up. I'll put them up on here. I'm not going to put them up. Well, the school side, I don't think it has a YouTube channel. Maybe I'm going to have to help them create one. Since I am a YouTuber anyways, I have to probably help them out to get that started. Man, why did I say that? Now if they see the video, they're going to expect that. But no, I don't think so. I think I'll put it on my own to, share with the followers the progression of what we're doing over here at SCLU, the progression of university at its cool little archive for what that. I mean, if in the future you wanted to do a tidbit on some sort of historic, you could do some research. Maybe there's some student in working on their PhD and has to write, the steps of starting and organizing a new college. And they have to write their PhD. They're going to have to look at my videos. They're going to have to archive it and go to the archives and watch this video. I definitely think this will have some weight for somebody doing some research, because, whatever's going through my mind is what we're experiencing as a team. The other thing we talked about today was uniforms. I really like the uniforms that they had last year. They're tackle twill. They were telling me that it costs about $60 per jersey. I wanted to see if we could build off of those. Just get those replacement. They're kind of classic. It could be the classic uniform. Or we could do dry fits. I mean, we could do dry fits as well, but that doesn't look too collegey, if that's even a word. But the tackle twill ones were pretty nice that I saw. They're very thick. Tackle twill, double letter stitching. They had grays and whites, and now I'm stuck with the decision of, do we go with new jerseys, new design, or do we use the ones from last year? I think the last year ones are pretty nice. If we could keep those, if I could convince them to use the same ones, I mean, we have a whole closet full of those. I mean, who cares if we use the same ones and we recycle them? I don't care. I mean, as long as they have the right size, that'll be an extra expense, but we can get it done. Let's see what else is going on for the program. Making phone calls, keeping track. Every Friday I have to update a list of all the people that I call, write down phone numbers, names, what the conversation went, how the conversation went. Was it a positive conversation? Was it are they potential applicants? Are they definite no's because they already locked in a school, they already committed to a school? All of these notes are essential for my progress as a recruiter. It would be awesome if I could get some sort of automation program that could just follow up after I make a phone call, and I just enter the person's phone number and email, and then just automate messages just constantly. automating a message to them like maybe once per day. Did you apply? Did you apply? And then maybe even give them the option to like unsubscribe to it, because if it's a definite no, then they'll unsubscribe to it, and then you'll know that they're not interested, right? But I think there has to be some sort of automation like that. I know there definitely, like, there's a Remind Me app. Maybe the Remind Me app would be a good one, because obviously that doesn't work unless you make a phone call. You got to talk to people. You got to leave a message. You got to reach out to people. They want to hear the voice of the coach. They don't just want to see a text message and all of that. The other thing is we're having a little baseball training tryout. It was a tryout for students interested, not certain what they wanted to do, and we got a kid named Michael Hernandez. Michael, if you're watching this, I'm very impressed with his power. The kid had major league power. He probably didn't have the size in terms of like height, but the power, he had major league power. Obviously, swinging a metal bat or composite bat, BB core, whatever. But he was hitting some bombs, like 400 plus bombs. And I was able to get that kid to apply. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's a number 4 hitter right there. And, one of the things about our school that's like a big catch is the tuition. The tuition is very low compared to other colleges. When it's all said and done, other colleges, you're coming out of pocket like $20,000 per year. And I think when it's all said and done on our end, a fraction. So that's kind of helped some that went to another school. They were like told how much, and they were like, "Nah, let's run for the hills," and they came to us. And some of them even got scared away. They're like, "You know what? We're gonna go to." That's a big plus. It's a big win, and hoping that it helps us to complete our squad before September. If you're a baseball player, you're still looking to play some college baseball, you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, give me a call. You still got some eligibility. We'll sign you up for some classes, and let's get you going at Southern California Leadership University. For those of you that are looking for the website, I'm not going to put it in the description. I'm just going to tell you it's SCLU.us. I'll put it in the description later. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been fun. Thank you for listening to my thoughts. This is just like my plan was to do a video per day just on my progression as a college coach, because I think people would be interested in that, to find out what it's like or to see, some people want to be like, oh, okay, maybe I could do that too in the future. It's always a possibility. Like, how is Coach Pete doing it? What is it that he's doing that I could do? That's or not even just better, just doing it identical, to get the same kind of results. But yeah, I've been exploring some of the other universities out there, and believe me, I've been finding all kinds of universities that are accredited. They have their own facilities, but then they don't have a baseball team. And then some of them that even have a baseball field, but they don't have a baseball team. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You just got to have some smart people that are outgoing. You know how to get up job openings for college coaches. Here's the other thing, though, too. It's almost like don't quit your day job kind of a salary. I'm not going to lie. You got to get into the D1 schools, or I'm not even sure how much they pay at a Division II, but I'm pretty sure a D1 school is going to be paying a college coach top dollars. That is where you want to be at eventually, right? But like if you're coaching down here where I'm coaching or junior college, you got to have a day job. There's no way in hell you could survive on what they're paying. Maybe if you lived in a third world country, you could survive off of that as a and be well off. But over, you can survive. But it's definitely a don't quit your day job kind of thing. It varies from university to university. All these colleges are private, so they have control over how much they offer on their budget for coaches. It also depends on, how much the university charges per student and all of that. But man, for those universities charging 20 to 30,000 for undergrads, and you still want a baseball program, you gotta pay your coaches a lot more than what you're paying them. That's not fair. It's not fair. You're kind of sort of ruining the sport in a way. You gotta pay them more, because it's not just me. Give them assistance. Give them a hitting coach. Give them a catching coach, a pitching coach. Give them all of that. You guys are charging enough money to be able to hire all these other guys. Now, two types of people taking these college coaching positions at the salaries that they're. Number one, a recently graduated college student who just needs a little side income. Yeah, people who are retired, this is like perfect for them. It's a fit for them to be taking these college coaching positions. It doesn't matter what kind of sport it is. I mean, you could go and you retire. You can go and coach soccer, basketball. I mean, as long as you know the sport, you played it, you know how to teach, you can do some research, and then put together some good practices. Heck, I'd even coach volleyball if that were the case. All you got to do is study a little bit, learn the game. If you played it at some point in the past, study a little bit, learn the game. If you played it at some point in the past, if you played at a competitive level, I think you could teach it. Played at a competitive level, I think you could teach it. I played basketball in high school. I feel a little intimidated about coaching basketball because I didn't play long enough to coach basketball, but I played basketball. I made the varsity team only for a while until I left for baseball in the summer. They had a summer camp, and I didn't want to miss or lose my position as a baseball player. So I walked away from basketball, but I definitely played basketball against some varsity guys. What else did I play? I played soccer, so I could possibly coach soccer. I actually have coached soccer in the past. I also played football. I could coach football. I was a quarterback. I never played high school football though, but I'm definitely certain that I could coach football if I was given a position to coach. So these are all sports that are up there, I mean, of course, at different levels, you're gonna have, all the hot shot college coaches for every sport, wherever it's D1. Those are the ones that are gonna get the most money. And I hope that I'm that guy in baseball sometime in the future. I think I can be. I think I'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Just the coaching aspect, preparing kids, and going out there and competing. If anybody has ever coached against me, I mean, you probably know how I am as a coach. So I'm always confident when I step on the baseball field. I was the same way as a pitcher, and I think it's the kind of attitude you got to have, though, for any sport. But I think for baseball, especially if you're a pitcher, my thinking was, I don't care who you put behind me. Give me 8 players to play the position. Just root anybody. And I have to be the 8 elite player. Just give me 8 people who know how to catch and throw the ball and put me up to pitch. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to win the ball game. That was my thinking. Give me the ball, fill up the squad, put them on defense, and I'll give you a chance to win. I feel the same way about coaching. Give me 9 players. Obviously you need pitching, and I'll prepare them so we could compete and we could get some W's. And I just saw Province College. I was watching their standings, and they had a record of 0 wins and 21 losses. I was like, wow, that's not good at all. I mean, if that happens to me, I'm saying it right now, I'm gonna step down as coach. 0 wins, I have no business coaching college baseball. I'm gonna push to get a record than that. I'm actually gonna push to have better than 50% of my games. I have to have above 500 average in order for me to feel like we succeeded. Actually, let me dial it back a little bit. At this point, one step at a time. If I could get the program up and running, be a success. I repeat it. If I could get the program up and running, and we actually get a baseball program up off the ground this year, that will be a success for me. That'll be step 1. Now, step 2 will be, of course, to making sure that we start competing and we start getting some wins. And everywhere we go, we got to be able to compete. That'll be a test to my coaching abilities, right? Putting people at the right place, getting the right pitcher in at the right time, making the right lineup, calling the right plays during the game. That's what coaching's all about, and trying to steal a win here and there with some smart calling of plays. And it happens. Sometimes you get spanked though, but you always try to bounce back. But anyways, that's been my my check-in for the day. My Coach Pete's college experience confessions. That's my confessional booth for the day.